More Than the Coach podcast. Tune in weekly for live interviews, great content here on the More Than the Coach podcast. Peace. What's up, y'all? What's up? This your boy, Coach Marshall, and I'm coming to you live from the More Than the Coach podcast. Hey, first off, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to the More Than the Coach podcast. I appreciate that. Show your boy some love. Tonight, before I get started, I want to give a shout out to some of my sponsors of the show. I got to give a shout out to Baldwin Multimedia. Can't go wrong with hooking up with Reg Baldwin, y'all. Make sure y'all reach out to him on social media and videos, pictures, whatever you need. He the man for it. He got you. Also, I got to give a shout out to my man JKG Apparel and Designs. Build what you believe in. You can reach him at 989-980-4838. That's my man Greg Lewis. So y'all make sure y'all holler at him. And then last but not least, Beautifully Just Being Me, where my wife, Joya Marshall, provides great hair oil, beard oil, facial soap, and everything else you need. So before I get going, y'all, with this introduction tonight of my special guest who'll be coming in soon, I'll start a little early so I can, holler and give him his big ups. But tonight, y'all, my guest tonight on the More Than the Coach podcast is no other than a friend of mine, a brother from another city, Coach George Ward. He's a son, a father of the community, and the founder and the presenter of Championship Culture, LLC. He graduated in 1988 always, from Detroit Cooley. He attended Alabama State University. He has three kings, Torian, Jalea, and I hope I don't mess up the name, but if I do, I apologize, and Aaliyah. He has three grandkids, Torian, Aubrey, and Kyron. He currently serves as a community organizer for the Ceasefire Detroit and does a little of everything at Martin Luther King Senior High School in Detroit. And he also, y'all, is one half of the state championship podcast. My man, Coach George Ward, it's going to be a blessing to have him come in on the show. I can't wait to get him in here, talk to him, let y'all hear him. Coach, y'all, is a very powerful brother. Coach is always online. You can check him out on Facebook. He's always talking peace, prosperity. He believes in his community. He believes in love and helping out our children. So tonight's conversation that I have with Coach is going to be very powerful and should be a good thing that's going on. And everybody should enjoy this podcast with Coach. I'm just waiting for him to get in here, and then we're going to start this podcast. Also, too, I do know he has at least one or two Mr. Basketballs, came from Martin Luther King. I do remember Chauncey, but I think he got one upcoming, Mr. Basketball, or at least in the running for Mr. Basketball in the state of Michigan. I've been seeing Coach basketball for many years. I know he's been with many different high schools for at least over 20 years in the state. Coach, hey, I commend you, man. I'm proud of you. And, like I said, I'm from Saginaw, and I'm watching all the way in the D. You're doing great things out there. So, like I said, as soon as Coach get in here, y'all, we're going to get this thing started. Before we go, I got to go into a commercial breather real quick. Hey, what's up, y'all? This your boy, Coach Marshall. Tune in weekly for the More Than the Coach podcast. Peace. Yes, sir. And I'm back. Coach still ain't on yet, but We ready. I'm gonna send him a message. Make sure ain't nothing holding him up. To let him know I'm on here and I'm waiting. But once again, I appreciate all y'all support. Everybody that's on, that support me, that watch me, listen to me. Hey, I appreciate y'all. And I thank y'all for all y'all love and support. And also to everybody that support the Mr. and Mrs. Marshall podcast. So soon as Coach get on, y'all, we're gonna have a good conversation. So just to touch bases, let's talk about some sports real quick. I just heard some bad news earlier today about my Cowboys. One of our top DBs tore his ACL at practice. Damn. But we gonna be all right though. We lost my man Jordan Lewis last year, and now we lost Diggs. So we should bounce back. Just find that right replacement. To anybody out there, you're a good DB. Come on out to Dallas. We need you. Super Bowl bound. All right. So also, man, I just want to say it's a lot of hate. It's a lot of hate on the Colorado Buffaloes and Coach Prime. I don't know. Uh-oh. Here we go, y'all. Let me bring him in. Let me bring him in. There you go.
Can you hear me, Kev?
Man, loud and clear, Coach. Loud and clear.
My man.
How you doing tonight, brother?
Man, what you mean how I'm doing? I'm good. I'm on the set with my guy. This has been a long time coming.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You've been a busy man. I've been grinding, man. I just did a awesome introduction, but I do want to apologize if I messed up one of the kids' name.
Jaleel.
There it is. Yep. I wanted to make sure I had it right, man, and everything. So how is the family doing, Coach?
Man, the family is well. Just like yours. The one thing I will say, the Marshalls got a good leader in place, man. So if God didn't do anything for me or mine, they showed us how to lead, at least showed me how to lead a little bit.
There it is.
So everybody's good. My oldest child, Torian, is college graduate.
Okay.
Eastern Michigan University, runs his own business, works for Delta Airlines as well. So it allows me to fly free, right?
All right.
My 20-year-old Jaleel Tariq, he's at Jarvis University, HBCU down in Texas. Playing down there, playing pretty well, getting ready for his sophomore campaign. Played for me at King High School. And then my baby, Layla Eileen Ward, she is currently at cheerleading practice now. So just had to kind of coordinate. We had a cross-country meet today. Had to coordinate with one of her homegirls' moms. And then, got them together, got them situated. And, I'm going to get her after the show. But, I'm glad to be on the set, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. And, like you said, your son graduated from Eastern. My baby girl graduated from Eastern 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Small world.
So, hey, man, I think we were ordered as leaders, as men, as fathers, to give our children everything that we could.
Yes.
And it wasn't material things, right?
That's
right. So we've been blessed, and we'll make it happen. So kids graduate from college. Your baby doing well. So I'm glad to see that.
Yes, sir. So, Coach, man, I was telling the people before you came on in the introduction that they can follow you and check you out on Facebook.
That's right.
Always look at being the person who motivate people and try to encourage people. Sometimes I got to find encouragement for myself, and I'm gonna be here to let you know, Coach.
Yes, we do.
I check out your messages a lot, and pour into me, man. And it's me telling you. Because the one you just did the other day,
wow,
man, I got to share it because you hit home on some points, brother.
Such as what stuck out for you, Kev? Because listen, I ain't just saying this to say it. I don't lie to guys, man. I ain't got to do that. I watch you.
The part about dads, brothers, step up, go get your nephews, go get them sons and start raising them. You know what I'm saying? And trying to show them and direct them. Because like you said, man, I just lost a former player last week to gun violence.
I saw that.
Yeah, and and it's hard.
Well, it's really hard because one, and you may have heard about this. One of our surrounding areas, E-Course, Monday night, 3-sport athlete, young man was gunned down at the red light. 11:30 at night. He was a senior. Played on there. Remember, 2 years ago, they went last year, I think. They went to the Final Four in basketball. Played on that team and played on the team the year before. And the young man was gunned down sitting at the red light. So when you look at it, as I talked about the other day when I went on that live, in every inner city in this country, we're talking about the same thing. I don't care how big, how small. If we're looking at it predominantly, if it's predominantly black and brown people, it's like, damn, not only are we falling victim to the killing, but the perpetrator becomes a victim as well. His family becomes a victim too. Because now you're taking another man away from the family who was a possible leader. So we are leaving our families in a situation where, damn, who's really going to take care of them? Who's going to really lead them? And again, our women are trying to do everything that they can, but the harsh reality of it is it's above their pay grade, man. And we got some hell of a queens out here, but we got some hell of a mothers and grandmothers like never before. We know that. But man, it is tough. And we're putting too much on our women right now. And we got too many men willingly leaving the family and expediting their life's process strictly through this gun violence.
For real. And that's powerful, man. Because like you said, and I see when you post your videos and you talk, and we'll touch bases on the organization that you're a part of. But I see when you do that, how it's kind of like it's almost every day. It's like it's every day you posting something about why we got to stop. And, and that's hard. And I don't even watch the news no more.
No.
I don't watch the news, man, because it's depressing. You're seeing young brothers and sisters losing their life. And every kids losing their life. They're not getting a chance to see the world like we see the world.
Man, well, you think about this, man. You've been coaching. You played. You've been a father. You worked in the schools. You work in the community. And you almost hate to see it. You hate to say it, but it's like, do we see it getting better? How can it get better? When I look at the generations, for me, when I look at the generation, and again, I watch, from afar. I'm a fan of yours like never before. And so I watch your teams, and you can see the success. You can see how, and not just success on the court or on the field. You can see the success off of it. But as we look at this generation, Kev, I want to think about this. As a whole, how well do we think these young men are going to be as fathers, as uncles? How well do we think these young ladies, now, I just saw a young lady today, it's 80-some degrees today, and a young lady was standing in the sunroof, and she was twerking. And, the traffic is stopped, and she just twerking. It's a young girl, too. So again, I ain't no fool, man. As a teenager, Lord knows, I love the derriere of a black woman like anybody else. But I never was attracted to the disrespect that we could give ourselves. And I try to tell my sons that now, and I tell my daughter, like, there's a time and place for everything, and there's a certain way we're supposed to conduct ourselves. But as we look at it, you preach leadership, you preach fatherhood, you preach accountability. I watch your stuff. I see you walking in the morning, man, and you getting it in, and you're telling us good morning, and you make us want to do well. But the one thing that we've gotten out of, and I know you speak it all the time, it's not enough of us, it's not enough of you, is teaching our young people to be mothers and to be fathers, to be husbands and wives.
That's true.
And it's unfortunate because now there's so much individualism in how we're telling our children to be and how we try and how they got to conduct themselves. And, we praise independent women. We praise strong women. And my mother had a master's degree from the University of Michigan. She worked for the state until she retired and, ultimately her premature death. But she was an independent, she was a strong woman, but she relied on the men of her family, her husband, my father before he passed, my grandfather, my uncles. So that generation of women, we don't really see that too much more. Ain't a lot of big moms out here anymore. And I think when you look at the core, when you look at the core of us, yeah, men at times we've been hit and miss. The black man, we've had our struggles. But the constant that we had in our families, man, and it ain't just mine. I know it's yours, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Our grandmamas, our aunties. And when you went over to your friend's house, man, after practice, you can get something to eat. You come by, his mama doing well. You know, she may be having a beer or having a little wine or something, but you can get you a solid meal and you can get some solid lessons.
That's right.
And we got to get more, we got to get back to that more, or we're going to continue to see our families.
That's so true. That's so true, man, because you're right. It took an aunt that raised me and saved my life. So I already know.
We ain't never even talked about this. We ain't never even talked about it.
Nope.
The women in our families, in the truest sense of the word, have been amazing.
Yeah.
They've been amazing. And yeah, so, you know, I know our ladies, you know, sometimes, you know, our predecessors, sometimes they weren't necessarily right. And they did things that, you know, Lord knows we ain't necessarily proud of, and I'm sure they not. But at the end of the day, you know, our women have been the backbone, have been the heart of our family.
That's so true.
Think the better our young, I think the more we're conscious, Nas talked about being more conscious of the way we raise our daughters. If we become more conscious of the way we raise our daughters, the men will fall in line. You know, we're going to do what it takes to get the girl.
That's right. You know, I ain't trying to be funny, but you know that old saying, P is the power.
Man, what you talking about? I'm 53 years old. And it
Same here. Same here.
You know,
for
so
real.
But no, man, you know, we striving here in Detroit. I'm doing everything I can do in my little section, in my little corner, just like you doing. And my prayer is that we'll be able to see someday. And sometimes I lose hope. You know, I don't say it publicly, but sometimes I lose hope. And I say, damn, are we going to ever get back to the 70s? Are we going to ever get back to the 60s? At least something close to it. Because that's a world that I want my grandchildren. That's a world I want your grandchildren to see.
Yeah.
Because it was a beautiful time.
It was, man. I still remember them young days.
Man, come on. I almost cry. I almost cry sometimes thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. That is true. So, Coach, I got to ask you, man. What I know the family first and foremost motivates you. But what else motivates you to be a part of making a difference where you at?
K. Marsh, it's just what we said. You know, I look back and growing up in the neighborhood, yes, I have professional parents, so I don't have the story of being poor, none of that. I ain't about to lie and disrespect my people. But it was good, though. It was so good. And you know, I got my butt whooped. I was a class clown. I was smart, you know what I'm saying? And I loved every aspect of my childhood. If I could eliminate, obviously, the death of my father at 9 years old, February 14th, 1980. But other than that, K. Marsh, man, for me, man, I want these children to experience that. Yes. I want these children to see what accountability look like. I love getting up on Saturday mornings, man. Even before I was cutting the grass, I love the smell of it. You know, the neighbors, man, you see them men out there, man, who had worked all week. They out there with their overalls on, cutting their grass, and in the afternoon, you can smell the barbecue and guys talking. They talking their stuff and all of that. I wanted that. I want that for our young people. You know. So, and again, them whoopings that we got, although getting chastised, made us better men.
That's true.
And you know, for me, I watched you. You look at it, how you took pride in the gym, in the field. You took pride in the way your boys looked. I watch everything. And that, for me, you know, we didn't come out the house smelling. You know, man, let you was stinking, man. Your auntie would tell you, if you don't get your ass back in there and go take a shower, you don't go brush your teeth. Come on, man. Am I lying?
That's so true. No, you telling the truth.
So
that's real.
What I do know is I didn't get to be a 53-year-old man at this point and being self-sufficient, being able to take care of a family.
Yes.
Without riding the backs of the Marshalls, without riding the backs of Mr. Olivers, of the Petersons, of the Johnsons, all my friends, they fathers and mothers, without them, without my family, I know I wouldn't be what I am today. I know that.
That's
I
so
want
true.
to thank them for our children. I want our children to be able to see. I want the guys that we've coached and the young ladies that you come in contact with that look at you like a father. I want them to be able to come to you and say, hey, coach, I'm getting married. Can you come to my wedding next month? That's what I want for them. And I want them to take pride in something that my parents always talk to me about. Be careful who you have children with. Be careful. Be careful. You don't just lay down with somebody because she cute. She got a big butt, he bow-legged, he got wavy hair, or he gonna be over 40 years old and still have all his hair like Kevin, man. So that's not the prerequisite to having no children.
That's true.
And those things that we've gotten out of, I want to see us get back to them.
Yeah.
And if we do, if we understand that the family is at the forefront and the community is at the forefront, we'll be much better off.
Man, that's so true, man. Because them family values go a long way. Go a long way.
Come on, man. You think about this. I don't think I've ever seen you and you needed a haircut. And that's pride in yourself. And I know you've talked to your players about, hey, man, all right, I know that the style day is the hair and all that. Hey, go get a lineup, though.
Always.
Wash it. Take pride in how you look. Take pride in how you smell. Take pride in how you talk.
That's right.
I tell our young people all the time, I say, listen, man, we wouldn't have been out of slavery if it wasn't for the assistance of some of the European Americans. We couldn't have done it by ourselves. There's been some hell of a white people out here that have helped us. But there's a number of them that when they see us, they already have a thought in their mind of who we are and how we are.
That's right.
I've always told them, I say, look, man, do not allow anyone to judge you and then you prove them right.
Yeah.
You don't let nobody look at you and think you're a fool and then you prove that you are, especially if they're from another race.
Yeah.
So, you know, as we matriculate through this life, man, what I want is the same thing you want. And what motivates me, man, is a good life for these young people. I want them to be able to get to their 60s and 70s and be able to sit back in their yard with some lemonade and their grandchildren or a beer and fry some fish, have a good time, and have a good, productive life, and understand that some kind of way, Coach Marshall, Coach Ward, we had some type of impact on that.
Yes. Because I tell you, brother, every time I see young men that's doing great and that's in college and they just call back to say thank you, man, that just lights me up, man.
Man,
and,
come on, man. Come on.
You deal with it.
Ain't that amazing?
You know, it is, man. People don't understand that. That's what pushed me to go harder because I want to hear more say it.
Wow.
You know, it ain't even about that dollar bill because we don't make money as coaches.
Oh, man. If you told people your coaching salary, they think you was crazy.
Yeah. And they think I'm lying. And I tell them, I say, look, my reward gonna come at the end. That's when my reward gonna come. When he say, well done, Kevin, and open them gates for me, that's all that matters.
Well done. And that's right. You mentioned the flowers. You think about this. When your young people come back or call you and say, Coach, thanks, man. I ain't really understand what you was talking about. I didn't understand why you was doing that.
Yep.
I ain't understand, man, when you used to make me, and man, we get up at 5 in the morning, have practice at 6 and all that. They ain't understand.
Nope.
Until they get to college and got to do it every day.
Every day.
Until their college coach or their college professor holds them accountable for everything. And then they can lean back and say, man, I done seen this before.
Yep.
I've seen this before, man.
That's true.
And the one thing that I know, and I tell people, see, the love that you'll get from your high school coach, if they're a real coach, you may not experience that again from another coach ever again in your life.
All the time, coach. I say that all the time.
You may not ever experience that type of love from a coach ever again in your life. Because for them, hey, man, they mortgage or the fact that their little daughter and son can go to college free, they're not going to let your little black ass mess it up for them.
That's right.
And you better believe that.
That's right.
So what we're going to go to the house and go talk to grandma and say, look, grandma, look, I'm trying to, and we're going to talk to the auntie and we're going to come, hey, man, get your butt out of bed. The college coach ain't doing it.
No, they ain't doing it. They gonna give you a
So
bus
you get
pass
your
home.
ass out of here. And
That's
then you
right.
back in Saginaw, you back in Bridgeport, you back in Detroit, and now you're trying to figure it out. So the one thing we got to do, as you and I've been doing, is, man, making sure we get these young people what they're gonna see in life. And that's what
true.
I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
That's true. That's real there, Coach. I appreciate that. Now I want to touch base. I got a couple more things, and I know you're a busy man.
Man, I'm good, man. I'm talking to my guy, man. This love.
Man. For sure, man. I'm enjoying this. But I want you to talk about your Ceasefire Detroit campaign, Coach.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll be watching and reading.
Wow. I am the outreach coordinator for Ceasefire Detroit. We are now out of the Detroit Health Department. We work via the health department. So because gun and gang violence, a lot of people don't like to say this. It's a health issue. It's a social health issue, and we got to deal with it. It's a health issue. We're gun and gang violence prevention initiative. Okay. And you know, the mayor and the chief of police have supported it, and they really have the current chief, Chief White, has really just poured everything into this, man. And Mayor Duggan believes in what we do. And what we do, we try to cut down on recidivism, obviously. When young men go to prison, young women go to prison, we try to make sure when they come home, they have the resources and the tools to make it where they don't have to go back.
That's all right.
But prior to that, when these young people that are going to Bridgeport High School, that are going to Detroit King, if they look like they're a little wayward, we try to intervene before they get arrested.
That's true.
So the police gives us an opportunity. They say, you know what, George Ward, a knucklehead, man, and you know, Kev been hanging with him, but George done been arrested, but Kev is his boy, but Kev ain't done nothing yet. So they bring Ceasefire to Kevin. And they say, look, man, we know you with that knucklehead George Ward, but we got something for you. So if you have issues with your driver's license, Kev, if you have an issue with employment, school GED, we eliminate every obstacle that's preventing you from being self-sufficient.
That's all right.
I'm talking about there's nothing that we won't help you with. So essentially, our Ceasefire team, we're like case managers. And each of us are responsible. You know, there's some of us that have about 30, 40 members that we're responsible for. Wow. And we have to check up on them. And we've got a component for everything. So we have one guy, man, John Hoskins, who strictly deals with employment. And he has gotten so many young men and women jobs, careers, that is incredible. I ain't talking about making $10, $11 an hour. We've got our clients, man, are making, without their GED yet, $18, $19 an hour. Free job training, everything that you could think of. I've gotten out of my bed before and had to go buy some steel toe boots. One of my clients called me a couple years ago, say, man, coach, man, I thought I had some boots. They said they got to be steel toe. I went over to Meyer, man, 24-hour Meyer, bought him some steel toe boots, put them things on his porch, man, and he got him a job in the construction company. So there's nothing that we won't do. It's a faith-based organization. That's really the meat and potatoes of it. So we have clergy with us. The clergy in this city have done so much. That's spearheaded by Bishop Darrell Harris, our guy. He's been with Ceasefire since its inception. And Quincy Smith is the head honcho of everything, man. He's the manager. He's Ceasefire manager. And we're doing everything we can to make sure that there's no excuses. And one thing I tell people is there's really no excuse for our young people not to be working.
Yeah, that's true.
Listen, I'm talking about there are so many jobs here, and the mayor, they brought so many companies here. There's so much construction. I'm sure there's so much construction going on in y'all neck of the woods too. And man, a lot of these brothers, man, they cannot, they just won't come on in and work. A lot of these brothers won't stop what they're doing. So we're gonna pray for them, and we're gonna keep on plugging away, and we're just gonna keep getting on their nerves. But we do everything we can. If you've been identified as a gang member, we're coming to you. I mean, we literally sit in the living rooms of these guys, and when there's a gang related shooting, Kev, Ceasefire goes to the scene.
Wow.
We go to the scene, and then what we do is we have our literature, and we try to say, look, I understand. We're from the neighborhood, Kev. You're from the neighborhood. Let's not retaliate. I know that sounds corny. I know you're thinking, man, I'm going to blast dog. The more we continue to shoot, the more our neighborhoods become decimated. The more our women don't have the leaders that they're supposed to have. The more our daughters don't have the representation from their fathers like they need.
That's true.
There was a shooting the other day, almost 100 casings at a gas station in the middle of the afternoon.
Whoa. Damn.
Almost 100. So, again, man, we try to cut down on all of this, and we're doing everything that we can. And, obviously it's not enough, but we're going to continue to try to work it.
Yep, and that's all you can do, Coach. Well, I commend y'all at Ceasefire. I had posted up the information so they can see it at ceasefiredetroit.info.
Man, I appreciate it. Appreciate it. We need it.
That's powerful, yes. And I know we got some stuff here going on with some guys in Saginaw.
Man, tell me about that, man, because we want to collaborate. And again, this is an initiative that we're going to start taking all over this state, man, because we know that it's needed.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know a whole lot about it. I know it's called HELP.
Okay.
And there's some pastors and some, black businessmen, some brothers, strong brothers out here trying to do the same thing. And I'm going to have to reach out to my big bro, Terry Reed.
Okay.
You probably remember Terry Reed from hooping at the high back in the day.
What you talking about? I know that name right now before.
Yeah, so T down here doing big things, man, in our community.
Okay.
And he got the help of his friends. So, most definitely that'll be a nice hookup because we need to collaborate, man, like that.
Man, so, it is a must. And I think, the more we can collaborate with our egos at the door, the better off this thing can be. The one thing that I always tell people is, I swear I ain't doing none of this for any attention whatsoever. I think we got enough to do, as you said. Kev, somebody asked me today, like they ask all the time, like, where do you find the time?
Yeah.
Where do you find the time? Tomorrow morning, my guys, I'm gonna do the Kevin Marshall Senior. I'm at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna be up. I don't necessarily want to be up, but I want to be up.
Yeah.
We're gonna get up at 5. I'm gonna meet my guys at the gym at 6. We're gonna put our work in. And I started doing that some years ago. Number one, it ensures attendance.
Yeah.
Number two, it ensures that they're on time.
That's right.
Number 3, I know that they've showered. And the mind is fresher in the morning. I always tell everybody, in the morning, man, the mind is much fresher.
That's right.
So I try to make sure that everything that we could do to improve the lives and improve the mindset of our young people, specifically our young men, understanding that, hey, man, you know what? The lack of emotional intelligence is not becoming.
That's right.
We got too many of our men, every time something bad happens to them, they lose their damn mind. You just mentioned to me that your aunt, and I didn't know, your aunt raised you.
Yep.
There's a lot of people, if they're not in the home with the original family, the core family, immediate family, they use that as an excuse.
Yeah.
To not become what they should become and to not become the leaders that we are ordered to be. So for us, we grew up at a time where you learned how to deal with adversity.
Yes.
Because sometimes that adversity was your auntie hitting you in your damn mouth. Sometimes that adversity was your auntie saying, no, you ain't going nowhere this weekend because you did X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
Our young people now, you go to somebody's house and say, man, when the last time you've been on punishment?
They don't know what that is.
They don't know what the hell that is.
They don't know what that is.
Like, what you talking about? Nah, I mean, okay, I get it. Maybe y'all ain't whooping the kids, but you can't even put them on punishment.
Yeah.
So what are you really trying to accomplish in that? We're like, and it's disrespectful to our predecessors. It's disrespectful to your auntie to say you're going to flip the script and not raise your children the way you were raised and you came out the way you came out.
That's right. That's stupid. Big time.
As it relates to life, you won the championship. By coming out being the man that you are, getting a beautiful, hell of a woke wife and raising a hell of a family, you won the championship. How would you come back and become the coach and don't coach the same way your auntie coached you?
Man, tell me about it. You know,
to me, that's utterly stupid.
It is. That's one thing, I'll be honest with you. I love hearing they call me the Black Bobby Knight. I don't throw chairs.
Hey,
You know,
I hear
I
it
used to
all the
go.
time about me.
Oh, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you though, Coach. That's when I first met you, man. I seen you play, and you was real disciplined on some kids, and I liked it. And I was like, damn, I like that. And ever since then, I've been following your path. You know what I'm saying? Then we
Wow.
connected. So it's
Wow.
been nothing but
That's
love,
right.
man.
That's
For
right.
real. You know. But hey, so I do want to ask this. I've been asking a lot of coaches and former players.
Come on.
You know, now you in the D.
Yep.
Home of big time basketball.
Yes.
Your top 5 of all time Detroit.
Ooh, no, you didn't.
Ooh. I
No,
would say,
you didn't.
but I mean, in it don't matter
Top
what
5
area in your
players
city.
all time in the city of Detroit?
The city of Detroit.
In no particular order. The one thing that you have to mention, because my mind took me back, and then I'm gonna go forward. Spencer Haywood has to be in it.
Okay.
Revolutionized the game with the free agency piece, with the hardship piece coming out of U of D Mercy early. Shout out to him, just a hell of a dude. Obviously, you got to mention Antoine Jobert.
The judge.
The judge, the way he could light it up, man. You know, I watched Twan, probably about 5-6 years older than I, and to see him do what he was able to do, and the way he could shoot that ball was just amazing. You know, you gotta, I guess, some kind of way, you gotta put C Webb in there.
Yeah,
you got to put C Webb in there. Chris Webber. By the time he was a 9th grader, you said, well, I mean, hell, he going to the NBA. I mean,
he was a grown man.
He was a grown man. 9th grade, C Webb. And obviously, the 2 left, I think, were the 2 best that I saw. Derek Coleman.
Oh, yeah. DC.
Lefty, 44, was unreal. 6'9" inches tall when he was in high school. Grew to 6'10" or so, probably taller. Could take that thing off the glass, put it on the floor, go behind his back in the middle of the floor, cross it through his legs, go dunk it, and had a hell of a career. Dream Team 2 in the league, Rookie of the Year, all of that. Set a rebounding record at Syracuse University. You know, but the baddest dude that and a lot of people do not realize if they didn't see him how good he was. Steve Smith.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Smitty. So we played against Smitty.
Yeah.
And Smith came on 87, the year before I did. And Smitty, we played him his junior year at Cooley. And, you know, we beat him, but he was talking junk. I mean, you could see he was probably about 6'1", 6'2", could shoot that thing, skinny as ever. I mean, just talking, hitting buckets, you know, okay, cool. The summertime comes, Kev. Summertime comes. We play him at St. Cecilia. I'll never forget this. He walks through the door at St. Cecilia, and he was about 6'7".
Damn.
So he was a point guard. His junior year, he playing the point. He wore number 0. I don't forget nothing. He wore number 0. His senior year of high school, he wore number 32. He was Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson.
He was Magic.
Listen,
man. Athletic.
Yeah.
Shoot that thing, though. And would dime you to death and talk to you the whole game. But he was like Magic. He would dime you. He would no-look you. He would kill you. So those 5 for me really stood out. And again, as you know, the late 80s and 90s around this state was a hell of a time for college basketball in our state, because you had players, you know, Flint and Saginaw, man. I mean, come on, man. I mean, come on, man. It's all the talent that we had. And I think, and I'm going to ask you next, I think, though, that the way we're raising our children has impacted the way our children are athletically as well. So I think obviously the coddling, the babying, now, you know, you are called the Black Bobby Knight, where 25, 30 years ago, you just would have been coach.
That's it.
Because all our coaches was on our ass. If you get paddled, if you didn't do right, You get cussed out. You didn't do what you were told to do. It was going to be a problem. Your auntie didn't go talk to the coach because you didn't. Your friend got 5 more minutes than you did. It was none of that.
None of it.
So I think the way we have reared our children has really, really brought the talent level down and hasn't allowed us to really develop the talent and develop the overall young person like it was back in the day, because again, we babying and coddling these children so much. I mean, we can't lie about it, especially our boys.
Yeah, and that's the truth, because you don't want them mad at you and this and that. I never forget when my son played for the legendary Coach Dawkins.
Lou Dawkins.
I told him as a freshman, he gonna be on you, but I was tough on him for a reason, because I knew when he went to Lou, and then if he was blessed to go to college, which he was, nobody gonna be harder than you on you than I was.
Nobody.
I forget when he came home the first day from high school practice, and he was like, "Dad, I want to transfer." I'm like, "For what?" He this, he that. I said, "That's a coach."
That's coach.
So I went and watched a couple practice, man, and I sat up in the bleachers laughing.
That's why I sent you there.
Yeah,
I ain't sending you nobody. If I watch a coach let a 14 or 15-year-old, 16-year-old kid do what the hell he want to do, I ain't running my son out of there.
No, but
it ain't gonna happen.
But it happens.
Oh, you know, that happens more than it happens where they got a real coach. What you talking about?
That's right. That's true.
And it happens so much where I know it is extremely frustrating for you. I know you watched it, and there's been a lot of young men that you could have truly helped if mama didn't intercept the discipline that you were putting down.
That's right. You're the meanest coach in the world. I'll never let my kid play for you. But then as soon as the kid get in trouble, Coach Marshall, I'm like, but you told me not to yell at him. You told me not to get on him. But now when he disrespectful to mama, I get that phone call.
Hey, I wrote a post some years ago. I said, there's never been a mother who's intercepted the discipline that a father or a coach had for her son that didn't live to regret it.
That's powerful.
Everybody that has tried to get in the way of that, at some point in time, God gonna make it where you feel it. Now, you done stepped in and you done tried to protect this boy from. Now, I want you to think about this. How you want to save somebody from oxygen? How are you going to say, you know what, I'm gonna cut off his oxygen supply? Well, you're killing him. And that's the same way I look at it. The only people that can bring a young man into manhood, the only person that can stamp that and say, all right, you're a man now, is a man.
It's a man. That's true.
Right.
That's true.
So how are you going to protect him from me? I'm the one that's going to validate him. I'm the one that's going to make him and give him everything I got to make sure he becomes a young man that he's supposed to.
That's so
and if
true.
you don't want him to deal with me, then who do you want him to deal with? And that's why I lose so many players up here. K. Marshall. That's a whole. Listen, I can give you a list of so many players that I didn't get, and that are families. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna say this right now. Families are close to me, and I didn't get the kid. And I know I didn't get the kid because the one thing happens is this. See, Kevin Marshall Sr. is in your living room now. Now, if your kid come play for me now, you don't let Kev in your living room. So now the disrespectful son that you have, that you've raised, the fact that you haven't done him right, the fact that you've allowed him to be mouthy, the fact that you've allowed him to skip class, and the fact that you've allowed him to be entitled, now Coach Marshall gets to see that.
Yeah.
And you don't want him to see that.
Yeah.
You don't want him to see really how rotten of a kid this young man is. And I look at it differently. Coach Marshall going to be the one to save him.
That's right.
And oftentimes, Kay, I want you to think about
look like I lost Coach for a sec. He should be bouncing back. Technology, y'all. I don't know if you can hear me, Coach, but I lost you for a second. Let's see. Put my phone. Let me text him. It's a great conversation. I told y'all you wouldn't be disappointed in Coach. You wouldn't be disappointed in the conversation. But this is what championship culture is all about. This is what Coach Ward teaches and preaches. You're probably gonna click back in on me in a minute. But this is what it's all about. There you go. You back, Coach?
Man, I'm back. My computer. This is the craziest thing I've seen. My city issued computer all of a sudden just started restarting on me. Wow. I mean, it's plugged up everything. It just
and that's what I just said. Technology, y'all. We can't control how it acts.
Come on, man. But it's good. I was getting back on. I'm on my phone now, man. I got it charged up, so we good, man. We good.
Okay. For sure.
Yeah, now let me ask you this. I gotta ask you.
Go ahead.
Who the baddest 5 dudes out the SAG Nasty out your way? Who the 5 baddest dudes you done seen played with? What up?
That's easy. I just had this conversation. A lot of people was mad about it, but my number one, I'm gonna be real with you. Cedric Morrell.
Ooh.
Terrence Roberson.
Ooh, T-Roll, yeah.
Yep. Mark Macon.
Shaking Bacon, Mark Macon.
Larry Walker.
And
man, it's a toss-up, but Mark Macon was one. You know, and then the other one I had to say is a cat, man. His name was Delano Johnson.
Delano Johnson. He played in '89.
Yeah. I seen him score 60 with no three-point line in an 8-minute quarter game.
He was, because Delano played with Lou, didn't he?
I think so, yep.
They were the dynamic duo before Lou went down to Tulsa.
That's right.
Yeah. They was a dynamic duo because I'm 88, so I remember them talking about them guys all the time. You know, again, you know, we grew up at a time when we was reading the newspaper. So on Wednesday and Saturdays, I had to see what everybody was doing.
That's right.
So I remember Delano Johnson. Wow.
And you know, we had one, I ain't put his name out there, but he was probably the best shooter to come through this city besides Anthony Roberson, and that was Archie Tullis.
Archie Tullis, baby. Buena Vista.
Yep. You notice a lot of my guys was BV guys.
I mean, I peeped the whole scene, man. I mean, you gotta.
Yeah.
Now, so let me ask you this. Now, Day, you ain't got Day in there.
Well, you know, when Day was playing high school ball, I was in the military, so I ain't really get to see him. And then I miss a lot of Torrey Jackson too, because you know, T-Jack, I watched T-Jack as a little kid fill up a community center on Saturday mornings, and I used to be like, man, this kid gonna be good. And so when I was in the military, I used to hear about him. And then, you know, of course, I watched him when he's at Notre Dame. So it's hard to give a top 5 in all our cities, man. But we can go on and on and on.
That's hard.
But, you know, we all got legends in there. Because there was one you missed that I used to love from y'all town, Doug Smith.
Wow.
Yeah, he used to come to Saginaw. He used to come to Saginaw all the time when I was a kid, man, and play up at August Sweat.
Really?
Yeah. He used to come and play.
So McKenzie used to come up there?
Well, he used to come with some other cats. It was like a team. You know, they had all-star squads. But Detroit used to bring a team up, and everybody used to come to see Doug Smith.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Hey, Big Doug, you know, lottery pick, went to Dallas. Hey, played for our rival, Detroit McKenzie. Obviously went to University of Missouri.
Yeah.
The whole 9. Bad boy. But you know, at that time, look, I'm back on.
See?
You see me twice?
Yeah.
Let me see something. I'm about to get back. I'm about to end the studio on my computer now.
Okay.
Cut this up.
I just added you back in there too. There you go.
There we go. There we go.
Sir.
I'm all the way live. Yeah, Doug was bad. Doug had a dude play on his team, Johnny Woodson. That literally, he flew in the air, and he was built like he was about 6'4", 6'4.5", and was built like a linebacker. I mean, he was crazy, could fly. So, like you said, all them teams during that time, man, everybody, you know, to make them teams to get on the floor on one of them teams at that time.
Yeah,
you got to play some basketball for it.
That is the truth. Kids don't understand that now, though.
Well, they don't understand the level of competition, Kev. And again, it's a microcosm of life. They don't understand the competition at the park.
Yeah.
You know, you learn shit, man. You go to the park, you start playing 6:30, 7 o'clock. If you lose your first game.
Yeah.
Unless you T-robe somebody at Delano Johnson, man, you might play again at 8:35, 8:40. Might not play no more.
That's real. That's right. Because you got to be home by the street lights. You got to go.
We had to compete, and we had to compete for everything. You know,
that's
you competed when we played tag. You competed.
That's right. Everything.
You know, these kids now, they spend so much time on a video game. If they get to losing by 25, they start the game over.
Yep. Cut it off on you. Talking about their Wi-Fi went out.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
That's so true, Coach, man.
Come on.
Real.
But yeah, man, so what are you doing now? You know, what's your plan for the next 2-3 years? I mean, you are a community guy, and that's why you're doing this podcast. You know, it's amazing. People, you know, you do enough. So trust me, you ain't got on this podcast so people can just see your face and see that you know you're gonna have all your hair till you 85. What are you doing, man? What's your plan for the next couple of years, and what you doing for the community, man? What you got going?
You know, to be honest with you, Coach, I think I want to test my feet in that college water.
I love it.
I really do.
I love it.
And why I say that, it's not just for me, but it's also a chance to give kids from Saginaw a chance to go somewhere else.
So have you thought about the JUCO route? I mean, what are some of the things you thought?
Yep. I thought about some JUCO stuff. Actually, somebody sent me a thing today about a couple schools that was looking out. I had the opportunity to go out to Tennessee, but it wasn't the right fit for me at the time.
Really?
You know, yeah. So, you know, I had to think about it, put it in prayer, and I just didn't get that word to say, yeah, go and make that move.
Okay.
Said I had to finish out, you know, here right now. It was something I started, and I got to finish it.
There you go.
But I'm also working on the book. It's an audio. It's gonna be an audio book called More Than a Coach. Yeah, and I'm gonna get a little deep in there.
No, you're a deep dude. So I only know what you told me that for. You know, that's like saying I meet Mr. Levi. He say he make jeans. I already know that. Right.
Yep. And other than that, though, Coach, man, I just want to continue raising my family, man, and you know, keep blossoming things with my wife. You know, keeping this marriage growing. We at 28 years right now. I need another 28. Man, you know, trying to break that cycle too.
You are inspiration to many, and I know oftentimes when you are in the midst of everything, Coach, you don't realize how great a job you're doing, because it's like I equated to you in the gym. So you see the shots that you miss.
Yep.
Right? You see the bad passes that you make. And everybody telling you, man, you doing great. And in your mind, you're like, I could do more. I could do more. Brother, shout out to you. You know, State Champions Podcast, we always say it's a celebration, man.
Always.
And the toast tonight is to you, brother, because you and your wife, because if we just had more families, if we had more men and women like y'all, you and I could get on here and talk about, hey, man, let's have our families meet for a vacation in Hawaii. We wouldn't have to talk about this.
That's right.
We don't have enough families like yours. We don't have enough men that are standing up and being the gap fillers that we're supposed to be.
That's right.
And I know that's difficult for somebody to say, man, I can't do everything. No, man, we're ordered to do everything, at least everything that we can.
That's true.
And I know there's some nights you lay down, and as soon as you get out the shower and get horizontal, you out. Because we do a lot. We do a lot. But my man, don't you stop doing what you're doing, man. Who are some of the coaches that inspired you? Who are some of the adults that inspired you to do this? Because you ain't just woke up and became a Superman, man. Who helped create this?
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a guy, Lawrence McKinley. He passed away some years ago. He never coached me, but I watched him coach other kids. And I used to watch him, and man, the guy, and he never yelled, never cussed or nothing. But the thing was, the way his faith and how he had his kids, man, I used to like, wow, that's how I want to be. So when I first started AAU, I role modeled all that. You know, I had a couple coaches when I was coming up, but like you said, we was knuckleheads. So I didn't listen to them until later in life. You know, one of them come and watch all my basketball games now. And he always tell me, right now, he still come and watch my games. His name, Mr. Dodell. And I never forget, like you said, back in them days, I called elbows.
Supposed to.
I was a knucklehead, yeah.
Knucklehead.
And guys like him and my pops, man, played a big role in me wanting to be a coach. Wow. He used to coach softball and coach basketball for adult leagues. Yes. I used to watch it as a kid. And I'm like, man, I'm going to be like my dad. And that's how it started, man. When I got home out the Army, I was riding somewhere and seeing little kids hooping and playing. I ain't had no kids at the time.
Right.
And I was like, man, I remember them days when we was kids. So I get out there. I ain't no weird dude, but I start tossing the football with
what you mean? Yeah, supposed to.
Now I'm volunteering in the schools doing that. And 30 years later, man, here we go.
Here you go, still doing it.
Still doing it.
Well, I think for me, what are some of the things that you want to see happen? You know, if I came to SAG tomorrow, if I came your way, what would you be like? Hey, G, let's get on this. What would you want me to do?
Man, we get some kids together, some young men that need that other guidance and inspiration to hear a different voice. So they don't always have to hear Coach Marshall or Coach Taylor or Coach Davis. But now here come another brother from a different city.
Yep.
Bringing that same message and living the same way. Because sometimes I think a lot of our kids say, oh, y'all talk too much. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about.
Yeah.
But then when they go and listen to another coach, that coach saying the same thing, but in a different way, and it's a different face, and they listen to it.
And they listen.
They listen.
Or they realize, like, dang, Coach Marshall wasn't doing too much.
Mm-hmm.
This is what coaches do.
Yep.
I think for us, the one thing that I want to see, and I tried to come up with an initiative a few years back, Kev. I wanted to start a parenting class for the high school students in the city of Detroit. And, you know, a lot of people applauded it, but then there was some the powers that be were thinking like, well, everybody ain't gonna come. I said, well, if I could just get two, and I wasn't trying to get paid. The first I told her, I said, listen, excuse me, I would give you my first year. The first year, this is how much it means to me. Because of what I began to see, so many of our young people don't even have keys to their homes.
Ooh-wee. They don't. It's a lot of them like that.
Think about that.
That's
and deep. I know it's become so common that all the time we don't even think about that no more. We don't even think about that anymore.
The little things. That's right.
So little things. Young boys getting a wallet, making sure they carry their ID with them every day. Holding on to their keys, learning how to go in the house, learning how to maintain the grass, all that. Once you become a teenage boy, you know, your mother shouldn't be paying anybody to take care of no grass, my man.
Exactly. Especially when you land there.
Especially when you land there.
That's right.
So I just think we've got to get back fundamentally where we were.
That's true.
And making a conscious effort to, again, some change was needed. Okay. A little bit. Some change was needed. Yes. you know, some people say they got whooped too much and all that, but I think we had a portion of our lives now where we can all say, like, for the most part, everybody I know lives in a larger home than what they did when they grew up.
Facts.
Everybody driving better cars and everything. I mean, they taking trips. They taking more trips than their mom and daddy did and everything.
Yep.
So my thing is, why wouldn't you got to still maintain some of the things that your parents did that allowed you this?
That's right.
And again, yes, the Most High, he did his thing. Ain't no question. That's a blessing. But our parents play such an important part in our development. And we shouldn't go away from all the things that they did and taught us.
That's true. That is so true, Coach. Damn. Hey, man, I told everybody before you came on that this was going to be a powerful conversation.
Well, hey, K. Marsh, you think about this, brother. You don't scare easy. I know that. I mean, it ain't just because you're a big dude. But your mind is always love. So in certain situations, you don't even have time to think like, man, you know, you ain't never just looked at a kid and like, man, I ain't going to help. You try to help everybody.
You try.
Try to help everybody. Yep. I think we as men have to have more of these conversations. I think the easiest way, and I think it was so easy for you to do a podcast, for me to do a podcast, because guess what? If we weren't looking at one another on this computer right now, if you were in Detroit or I was in SAG or that aspect, that portion of the state, we'd be somewhere sitting watching the game, having this conversation.
That's true. That's
you feel what I'm saying? We would. So this is who we are, but we need more brothers. I need more brothers to join in that fight with you and say, man, you know what? Let's make life look better for our grandchildren. See, we can. I think the one thing that we've done is we have been the most selfish generation of people that the Black community has ever seen. Because we've been about, hey, got to get yours, I got to get mine, I'm going to get rich and die trying, all of that. That's that. And we've thought like that. Well, how dare you forget about those that's coming behind us and those that paid the way for us?
That's right. Always got to pay homage.
Man, come on, man. So, yeah, Kel, I got to come to SAG, though. I got to, well, we playing Julian now.
Okay.
We coming to the high.
Okay.
Obviously, I have a Mr. Basketball candidate, and you know this will be my second in 3 years.
Yes, sir.
He's got a great opportunity to do so, and I think I want the entire state to see him. And I understand, you know, his father's from Saginaw. Chris Lulis is from Saginaw, and we're gonna come up that way. But the one thing that I have to do is this. I got to come up early enough in the day where I got to be able to break some bread with my man, K. Marshall, man. And I know you're a Saginaw. I know you're a Saginaw dude, Kel, but you got to sit behind my bench, man. Tell Julian, man, he get hold off for a minute. It ain't no hatred or none of that. No. Hey, it's all black and gold. You're going to have on your black and gold so they can think it's for SAG. But you got to at least sit in the middle, man, because I got to kick it with you. I'm a big fan. Man. I'm proud of you, man. And I love what the hell you're doing up there. That's for sure.
Thank you. And the same this way too, Coach, man. Like I said, it was an honor. I was glad to be able to reach out and get you on the podcast, man. I watch State Champs every week. You know,
man, you comment every week. You watching it. You doing your thing. I think one thing. So next week, what we're gonna talk about, we got to talk about this Mel Tucker situation, and I'm gonna need your expertise.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of people who, and because I want you to have this portion on your podcast, there are a lot of people who, you know, obviously upset with Mel. And again, poor choice. I get all that. And Lord knows if any of us are infallible, shit, I want to see who that is.
Yeah.
He and his wife are not together. That has come out. So, but 27 phone calls with an average of a 30-minute conversation each time.
Yeah.
And this lady of European descent has erased all of her text messages, photos, and everything that she sent to Tuck. And this brother is terminated.
Yeah.
And then they bring back D'Antonio.
Exactly. Terrible choice.
Now, what is that suggesting? Because see, we had a couple king players up there at the time that whole situation went down up there. And they fired Curtis Blackwell, who was a King graduate. I know his family. He was the head of recruiting, all that.
Yep.
They fired him. He became the scapegoat.
That's right.
And they used him as the scapegoat, and D'Antonio was able to kind of just retire and walk away.
That's right.
But all this happened under his watch.
Yep.
And now you're telling me, after all of that lack of organizational control, you fire this brother and bring my man back. So what I'm trying to do is make it where Kevin Marshall Jr. And all the other young brothers behind us don't have to face what this brother has faced, because I'm going to tell you something. I know this sounds extreme, and I've said this to people. I know when I say stuff, people are like, man, come on, man. This could set us back 50 years.
That's right.
Because as soon as a woman of European descent hollers rape or hollers that we did something to her, America stands up and says, yep, he did it. And he was wrong. And this woman had a plan the whole time. The university fell for it. And now we have another black family, not just a black man.
Yeah.
We have another black family. Now he has to face all the shame, all the ridicule, everything. And he lost millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Because
that's true. And personally, I think that's what most of us about. They probably planted that seed.
Kevin Marshall, you too smart for your own good, Kevin Marshall.
Man, for real.
You're too smart for your own good.
Yeah.
You already know the deal.
I know it. I like you said, I did my research.
I know you did.
Man.
And we've lived too long to watch some things, and there's some things that your aunt told you not to do. Some things your aunt told you to watch out for.
That's right.
You were coming up. And I get it, and I understand why. My mother was deaf on that. She was like, look here, we ain't doing this.
That's right.
So I'm praying for the brother, but next week, man, we're gonna do a show, and it's gonna be powerful. You know, almost as powerful as all yours, man.
I'll be on there.
Man, I appreciate the love, but you got it going, brother. You got it going, man. Really.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Hey, and like I said, State Champions Podcast. That's my thing.
Man, come on, man. More than the coach. Hey, I can't even give me a shirt to say more than the coach, man. I gotta give me something. But what I am gonna do, well, we're gonna talk offline. I gotta get your address, because I gotta get me a shirt. I gotta get me more than the coach t-shirt. I'm gonna rock it, and we're gonna send you a State Champions Podcast t-shirt, man. And we're gonna do it.
Hey, are you going to the BCAM clinic?
Ain't no question.
I'll be there. So we
ain't got to talk about nothing else. You know, I'm the regional director for our area for BCAM.
Okay. All right.
I'm the regional director for our area for BCAM.
Yeah, Coach Punch will be there representing Bridgeport.
Come on, man. So
I love it.
We're gonna sit down. So you're gonna stay this way for a couple of days.
Yeah,
at least one day.
I'm saying, yeah.
Well, on your way down, you call me. We're gonna sit down. Me, you, I'm gonna get Keith Guy. We're gonna get the brothers, man. We're gonna sit down and we're gonna really, really build our circle, our village, and our allegiance and our alliance, man. And we're gonna make this thing roll, because we're gonna do some things in the summer that's gonna be beneficial to our programs. And you know, we're looking forward to it.
Man, most definitely. Once again, Coach, I appreciate you coming tonight, joining me on the More Than the Coach podcast. It was an honor, a pleasure of mine. You know, and like I said, next week we'll get together.
Yes, sir.
And, hey, you have a good one. Like you said, in a minute, I'm about to go hit that shower and crash, because 4 a.m. will be here in the morning. In a minute. Yeah.
You getting up at 4?
Well, I just started a new job, so my training is 5 to 1. I work at the hospital now. Yeah.
You're a bad dude, man.
Well, Hey,
God's grace and mercy, man. The Most High,
yes, sir.
mad love. I will say this to anybody, and I'm serious. Hey, more than the coach is beyond the podcast. It's a lifestyle for this brother. Man, I'm glad that you had me on. Like you talking about, you honored. I don't know what the hell you talking about. I'm honored to be here. I appreciate you. No, I appreciate what you do. You're a bad dude, man. You know, and the one thing I could say is powerful when Black men recognize how great we could be together.
That's right.
How great our minds could be, how great our hearts and our souls could be to make things better for our community, because that's what it's all about. It ain't about us riding the best motorcycle. It ain't about us having the biggest house or baddest car. What can you do to impact this community and make it better for all of us? And that's what this thing is about. Now, hey, and that's what More Than the Coach is all about. More Than the Coach podcast. Man, tell sis I said, hey, I can't wait to see you, brother. We're gonna sit down and break bread. Hey, that night we get together, don't even bring your wallet, because I don't want you to even try to bring nothing out. You're in my neck of the woods.
All right, Coach, man. Much love, baby.
Much love.
Take it easy, and you have a good one.
Man, you too, man. Hey, appreciate you having me on, man. I'll see you next week.
Yes, sir, and thank you for coming.
Man, all right. Love, man. Appreciate having me on.
Sir. Yep. All right.
Yeah, love.
Love. So once again, everybody, I told y'all, if you tuned in tonight, you got a treat from one of my brothers in Detroit, Coach George Ward. I appreciate you again for coming on the More Than the Coach podcast. Like we said, y'all tune in every week to the state championship podcast. You can't go wrong with it, y'all. But hey, this your boy Coach. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. Hey, y'all have a good night.